It is up, everyone. This is Captain Eon speaking, and I'm doing so in the hopes that by simply sharing a little more of my eternal journey with the Lord, that it would in some way, somehow, by the grace and the love of God, inspire and ultimately edify this wonderful body that we all get to be members of. Today's treatment had me thinking about the fact that we are all created as natural born followers. From our first day of existence, and I'm talking about conception in the womb, we have been under the influence of someone and something else. Ultimately, our very existence is influenced by our parents and their genetics, and then the environment comes into play. And this is by design. And if God designed it this way, then this is perfectly how it's supposed to be, at least in my opinion. But the ultimate source of all of this influence, for me, stems from two paths, or two kingdoms, if you will. And from this idea, stemming from chapter 10, verses 4 to 7, I'm going to briefly share on the idea of that kingdom. So like I was saying, from the text, God speaking through the text, I began looking at Saul's final moments in a way that I had never before. From his final request, which was basically a death sentence. You know, he asked someone to end his life, as contrasted by the King of Kings' final request was that to go spread this gift of eternal life. The second thing I really noticed was that Saul, in his final moments, his loyal servant, which is titled his armor bearer, to me that's like your right-hand man, followed him in his final decision. He fell on his sword, and when his armor bearer saw that he had fallen on the sword, he followed suit. And that makes sense that, looking towards something, the old adage, you chop off the head and the body will die. And so this dumb king, and I'm using that in reference of the main idea, death was on his mind. Thus the head got chopped off and the body followed suit. Further being continued that the whole kingdom, when they found out that Saul and his sons, the royal line, was dead, they abandoned their cities and fled and got scattered. The kingdom became no more. The territory was left for the taking, which ultimately the Philistines came in and took it over. And so all of this helped me to get a better contrast of the only true king of all kings. Because I realized, now that I'm thinking about it, Satan isn't even a king. God refers to him as a prince. Because ultimately, there's only room for one king in heaven and over all creation. Everything comes from him, so truly, he reigns sovereign and supreme. Further, I start thinking about the fact that when the King of Kings came and bestowed upon us, his people, his very body, the same attributes as he, the head, we automatically outrank the Prince of Darkness, because we get to share in God's kingship and priesthood. And both of those outweigh a prince. Wow. That other king, dumb. Caption this. Let's follow the main king by letting him be our main thing. Sir.